What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday morning edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. Need an orthopedic? Go to Brock. Need a roof? You call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and On Fire Athletes, the platform powered by GameCoin. Okay, good morning. Hope everybody is having a wonderful start to their Sunday morning and had a great Saturday. Joe Brady won't be the coach of the New Orleans Saints, electing instead to remain in Buffalo. Not a great look for New Orleans. We'll get to that. LSU basketball drops a really hard-fought game in Tuscaloosa. Played well, played hard, just came up short. So we'll get into all that. You know the drill. Please fire away, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We appreciate you all so much for being here. Yeah, let me show you all the view. So we are at Capitol Cottage. So Erica's sister and her husband, so my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, built this place up here in it's in I can't remember the name of the town, but we're in Mississippi. So you go north on 61 through St. Francisville, like past like Rosemount into Mississippi, and then you zig and zag a little bit. So we're out here in the country, but it's gorgeous. So they they use it as an Airbnb, so people rent it and come stay here. It's beautiful. This is the porch. So like there's the inside right goes in there, but I'm on the back porch trying to give you all a view. So like the porch is really cool, right? So you have this outdoor area with the fireplace, the rocking chairs, the swings, and everything. But here's kind of the panoramic. I mean, it's pretty gorgeous, peaceful out here. Like there's nobody. The property is 8 acres. So the property is I'm on the back. There's the front side too, but the property is 8 acres, and then I think he told me there's like some like land preserve or something that's like 1,000 acres around where no one can ever build. So basically, this 8 acres is in the middle of that preserve where so like you'll never have anybody bother you out here, which is really cool. Let's see, how does that look? Anyway, so if anybody ever wants to rent it, you can. It's on Airbnb. So if you ever want a little getaway, cool spot. Capitol Cottage, Capital, Capitol College. It's on my Instagram story too. So, all right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Hey, Kelly Gross, good morning. Robert Mason, good morning. It is, man. We stayed out here last night, just fire and cigars and did steaks and whiskey. It was a great night, man. Really, really relaxing night. So, hey, Sean, good morning. Randall, then we should hire Kingsbury. I'll be really interested to see what direction they go. But I think with Brady, so usually if a coach withdraws his name from consideration, usually that means he's not going to get the job. And so in an effort or opportunity to save face, you withdraw from the search, right? When really you weren't going to get the job. I don't know that was necessarily the case here with Joe Brady. I think it might be a situation with Brady, kind of like Ben Johnson a year ago from Detroit, where he wasn't the number one name in this coaching cycle. And so he just didn't take a job just to take a job. And then this year, he was the number one name in the coaching cycle. And so he got what he perceived was the best job, which was Chicago, where you have Caleb Williams and you got a young roster and you got cap space and all that stuff. So I think that's probably what Joe Brady's thinking is, let me not just take the Saints job because it's a job. Let me, next Buffalo's going to be good again next year. Let me have another good year at Buffalo. And then you know, and then maybe take a job after that. So have a better job. So I think it speaks to the Saints, a job not being a great opportunity that everyone's just jumping at. So um, that's disappointing. I don't know that Brady was ever my first choice. And I think it'll be really interesting to see where they go from here. Like, do they hire McCarthy? If so, I mean, you could have a decision tomorrow. Do they want to talk to Kingsbury? Depends on how the games go today. If Washington loses today and they want to interview Kingsbury and he comes in, great. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Rooney, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Close last night. Trey'Dez looked good, but that's a good point. You know, I don't have the box score in front of me, but Trey'Dez got some run last night. He probably played 10 minutes in that game. I don't know if someone has the box score. You can let me know what his final line was, but Trey'Dez got some run. Man, he had a steal and then a transition dunk. Um, Pretty aggressive on both ends of the floor. He did get a foul where he forearmed forearmed a guy in the chin. It's like, brother, you're not coming across the middle on a crossing route, brother. This is basketball. But he did look good, man. He definitely gave you an infusion of energy, gave you some size, some length, some physicality. So that was encouraging to see. Hey, Michael, good morning. Nobody wants to work with Mickey. If Gail doesn't want to do what needs to be done as the owner, blame falls on her too. I agree with that. I'm not going to say nobody wants to work with Mickey, but the Saints' job isn't desirable. Shane O'Mac, good morning. I think the fix is in for McCarthy. That's why all the big names thus far have said no to the Saints. Guys like Rizzy, Kafka, Weaver would jump on in a second. Um, I don't know if I would say the fix. I don't know if that's how I would phrase it, um, but I mean that he may very well be their leading candidate. I mean, like the odds on favorite was Brady and McCarthy. So yeah, I mean that may be the direction they go. Are you surprised Brady wants to stay? He has Josh Allen as a quarterback. All the more reason to keep Rizzy. The Saints will be a lot more desirable next year. Um, yeah, I mean that's kind of bang that drum a little bit. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's what the Saints are going to do. It's not really their MO, but I do like that option. Retain Darren Rizzy for a year. Fix your cap situation. Um, get a better draft pick. Let some of these contracts purge off and be a more desirable job next year, which may do anyway. Brett, no one of the significance wants the Saints job as long as gum smacking Mickey is still around. Good morning, Matt. Hope you're having a blessed morning. Wonder if LSU has a name for tight ends coach. Um, Not that I'm aware of as of yet. I mean, there's some names that people have thrown out. Um, Somebody mentioned Kevin Sumlin to me the other day. Not anybody like associated with LSU, like maybe like a fan or something like that. Twitter. I mean, Sumlin is coaching tight ends right now at Maryland, I think. So, I mean, this guy knows the SEC, good offensive mind, has been a head coach. Might make some sense if he wants to get back in the SEC. We'll see. Um, but they got to have a tight ends coach. So, got it, Thomas. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could play the jingle on my phone, but I don't know that y'all would hear it. Shannon Mac, y'all got a hot tub. No hot tub, but what's interesting is they do have the bathtub is outside. So it is a beautiful space. And I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's not, I mean, you have privacy, but it's like, what's that called? Is that called like, forgive me if I say this wrong. I really don't know the phrase. I think it's like, is it al fresco? What's it called? Like when you have someone will say it one time about when the bathtub is outside. I mean, there's a shower inside, and everything's the finishes in the house are beautiful. I mean, it's a year old. I mean, they did an amazing job. So it's 2 bedroom, 1 bath, um, and then there's a sofa bed as well, so it could sleep. I guess it could sleep up to six, um, but maybe more if you want to have air mattress and stuff. But anyway, um, but yeah, but no hot tub, no hot tub. I'll put in a request. Hey, Christian, good morning. Yeah, man, we had a great night last night. Very relaxing. Strong side, good morning. Whoops. Hang on. There we are. Jesse Brown, good morning. Hey, Gary, good morning. Women's basketball can't beat South Carolina. Men. Hopefully. Hey.
Hey, you have to come see Audrey's sleeping.
What's he doing?
He's off the bed again.
Is he on the floor?
Yeah, with his head on the bed halfway.
That's what he was doing at like 5 a.m.
Oh, no, all night. I moved him twice before I got you to move him. I'm telling you, he is crazy.
So we have, and for Eric and I in our room, we brought a blow up mattress for Drew, and like Drew is crazy in bed. Like he flips and twists and turns in bed. It is wild. I'm sure a lot of you your kids do that too, or do that. But I mean, he is a crazy person, which is why we can't put him in bed with us, because he will just kick us and roll. I mean, we'll never sleep. But a couple times in the middle of the night, I got up like he was on the floor, like he had gotten off or rolled off of the air mattress, and it's the floors are concrete. I mean, it's beautiful the way that they designed it, but it's cold. I mean, there's a big rug on the floor, like obviously, but toward the door where he was, like he's on the. I mean, he's just laying on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing? And so like I put him back on his bed. And then later on, like 5:30 or so, I kind of heard wrestling around, and he's sitting on the floor with his head on the air mattress, and I'm like, I've moved him, and then later I hear wrestling around again, and he's like, his head's laying off, his body's on the air mattress, head's laying off of it. I'm like, well, you are insane. He is crazy, man. Anyway, y'all probably, so I'm sure some of y'all have like know that too with your kids, like did flip around in bed like crazy. Hey, Brian Thomas, good morning, everydayer. I love it. Thank you so much. B. Lorky looked up Capitol Cottage. What's your Instagram? Place looks awesome. Yeah, man, they did a great job with it. So, if you're just joining, so we're at my Erica's sister, so my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, they built this place that where they're up here with us. We came up with them. So, gorgeous place. It's about door to door from our house to here was about an hour and a half. So it's in Mississippi. I mean, you're north on 61, you pass St. Francisville, you go into Mississippi, a couple miles, there's a state road you turn off on, you weave your way through for about 15 minutes and you're there. So, Jesse, I guess your idea may come to fruition. Rizzy for a season, new coach in 26. But Jesse, I don't think it's a terrible idea. And it's plausible. I just don't think the Saints are going to do it. I think I don't know that Mickey Loomis is just going to punt on a year. I just don't think he's going to do it. I mean, I think it's a sensible thing. Like, I'd rather take a step back to be able to take 5 steps forward. I just don't think they're going to do that. Hey, Taz, good morning. Spurge, good morning. McCarthy's not the dude as well. I'm sorry, did I miss something this morning about McCarthy? Again, granted, I'm out here, but I did see last night about Brady. Perhaps I missed something about McCarthy. Hey, Wade, morning. Love the thumbnail. Maybe the front office will see the painting on the wall, but not really blame Joe Brady. Good morning. Thomas, pulling for Jaden, man, for sure. Victoria, I can't say I blame Brady. Saints are not a great situation. Totally agree. It's disappointing. I mean, we did an exercise on AFR about a month ago, maybe a little longer, where we did like a role play where Musso was the agent and I was Ben Johnson. And I was like, all right, lay out all the situations. What are my options? And so he went through everything like draft picks, quarterback situation, cap situation, all that sort of stuff. And like when you lay it out like that, you realize that the Saints situation is not good. Like it's just you're not set up for immediate success. And in the NFL, it's just such a what have you done for me now? What have you done for me lately league? And I think coaches want to put themselves in a position where they can win. I mean, not it just just guys aren't guaranteed time, to get things right. Bayou Bengal 84. Hey, David, good morning. Nathan, good morning. Arch 2026. I mean, look, there are worse things in the world. Like, I don't know that the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL next year, especially like if you have Derek Carr back. Like, I mean, we've talked about this. Carr Carr is just good enough to make you not be terrible. Um, so if you have Derek Carr back next year, you're going to find yourself in that 7-8 win range again, and you're going to be picking somewhere in the teens, and you're not going to be in position to draft a quarterback like that, which is one of the reasons I want to move on. Because I'm not interested in being 7-8 wins and drafting in the teens. Um, like I'd rather that scenario pick first overall and have your pick of whoever the best quarterback in the draft will be and build your franchise around it. Hey, Blake, good morning. Robert, good morning. Big Wade, coach from the Giants, he a good coach. You know what's interesting? So you're talking about Mike Kafka. I don't think Kafka is a guy that's going to get the job. But sometimes you have to go through the interview cycle several times to become a name that people get used to hearing. And sometimes you also do those interviews for maybe not this year, but for the future as well. So I don't think Kafka is a guy that's going to get the job realistically, but it's probably one of those that's in the mix for future conversations. Tank for Arch. Hey Rocky, good morning. Feels like we're getting closer to Rizzy. Tough time to be a Saints fan. Hey Taz, do coaches have an issue working with Loomis? Being our own previous coaches turned us down. Yeah, I don't. So again, I don't think that's the case. Um, like, I don't think Joe Brady pulled out because of Mickey Loomis. Like, we all have a problem with Mickey Loomis. It's more like all the things we've talked about. The Saints are not a good situation. Like you're not set up for success in New Orleans, at least not immediate success. Your cap situation, your roster, your quarterback, like it's bad. It's a bad situation that whoever takes that job is taken over. And I would definitely want um some assurances of stability and opportunity long term, which is hard to give in the NFL. And then if you get a job, uh, okay, so Trey'Dez Green did play 9 minutes, so ballpark did about right. Um, uh, it's hard. It's just hard to give assurances in the NFL that you're going to have time to build something. And then if you fail, are you less likely to get another job in the future? So, please smash the like button if you would on YouTube. 251 watching. I love that. Thanks so much. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for being there. Hey Nathan, good morning. God dog it. I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry. Let's see, Blake, update on GameCoin. The cards don't seem to be moving on fire, and GMX trade volume is essentially dead. Do I need to cash out? I'm not going to give you any investment advice, but it's always been a long-term play, and the platform has been launched for a couple of months. So, I mean, you do you, but I'm I'm quite comfortable holding and uh, watching what happens with the platform, watching what marketing um, strategies are going to build around it, and I know those are all in the works. So um, the most important thing was getting the platform launched, which has happened, and it looks awesome and it's functional and it works. Now I got to go market it. So the best thing you can do is if you know a kid who plays sports or family who has kids, nieces, nephews, your kids, tell them to go check out On Fire Athletes. Tell them to go build their own digital trading cards. It's an awesome platform. Share them with their friends. Austin, good morning. Randall, did they get snow there? If so, how much? It did snow, but they weren't up here, so I don't know how much. They weren't up here for the snow. But yeah, they did get snow up here. Yeah. Hey, Deborah, enjoy the views in solitude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Great morning. Hey, Rick. You requesting tight end coach candidates for the Tigers. What are your thoughts about LSU pursuing Kevin Sumlin? There you go. I mentioned that a bit ago. I mean, I'd be okay with it. You're talking about a guy that's got head coaching experience in the SEC. He's a good offensive coach. Coaching tight ends right now. I mean, I feel like that would be an asset on staff. But again, I want to clarify, like, I have not heard that from anybody at LSU, that that's someone that they're interested in or pursuing. Rocky, is the story true that Aaron Glenn wanted Loomis gone in order for him to take the job? Rocky, I haven't heard that. I mean, that was singularly reported. But my feeling with something like that is, unless if you're hearing the people who are breaking news and reporting news around the Saints every day, or the NFL reporting that, probably take it with a grain of salt. Could there be some truth to that? Maybe. But I think it's one of those where if you're a Saints fan and you're fed up with Loomis and you see a negative story come out about Loomis, the inclination is to want to believe it, which I don't fault you for it, but just my 2 cents there. But I don't know if there's any truth to that. Uncle Hudak, good morning. I think the Saints are going to end up retaining Rizzi or signing McCarthy. I'm digging the backdrop. The scenery looks beautiful out there. Hope you all had a nice time. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is beautiful out here, man. I don't know if y'all can see the lake pond, whatever, but that's man-made. They dug it. Said it filled up in about a week with rainwater. So they put about 1,500 fish in there. So should have a pretty nice yield. Let's go fishing here soon. Carly Cat, Green at 8.5 minutes, 3 rebounds, 2 points. The two points were emphatic. I mean, they had a steal and a transition dunk. It was awesome. Richie, Matt, do you think LSU goes after Notre Dame's offensive lineman? No, I don't. They were all interior players. Their center, Pat Coogan, and then they had, not to be confused with Patrick Coogan, the former LSU pitcher, but then a couple of guards. So no, one of the guards already committed to Tennessee. But no, LSU's not going after him. Let's see. I think it's downward spiral the Saints have been on since Benson passed and Peyton left. Loomis has gotten too comfortable with mediocrity and underachieving and cocky. I think there's my overall feeling on the Gail Benson, Mickey Loomis relationship there. It's like, I don't care what you do, where you work, or how much success you've had. There has to be accountability. I mean, Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls and got fired. Then they gave him rope after Tom Brady left, and they missed the playoffs 3 straight years, and he was fired. That's a man who won 6 Super Bowls. So because the Saints won a Super Bowl 15 years ago doesn't mean Mickey Loomis should be Teflon. The result is what it is, and it's not good enough. Will Brian Kelly be on the hot seat if LSU doesn't make the playoffs? I mean, listen, Taz, to be very honest, the pressure will ratchet up, but will he be on the legitimate hot seat? No. Because even after next year, they would still owe him $50 some odd million if they fired him. So, no. I mean, they're not gonna pay him that. So no. David, love the view. Thanks, man. Jason, good morning, Uncle Scone. Nope, not at Cubby Rise. This is, for those just joining us, this is called Capital Cottage. You can find it on Airbnb. So it's my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's place. They here in Mississippi, they built it and they use it as an Airbnb. So people who kind of want to get away from the city will stay for a night or a couple nights, whatever. It's beautiful up here, man. So big, beautiful 8 acres. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, last night, like the state road, which is 5 miles, 10 miles away, as far. Like I think once last night, while we were sitting out here, we heard maybe like we sound like an ambulance, maybe sirens far, far off in the distance. But other than that, you don't hear anything other than just I don't know if y'all can hear the birds or whatever. It's beautiful. All right. Going to work at a steel mill. Hopefully the interview goes well. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Jealous of your surroundings? Out here in the desert. Oh no. I miss the swamp so bad. Enjoy. Oh, that's right. Tremaine's in saw Tremaine in Vegas. I was like, what you doing in the desert? But you mean out in Vegas. Got it. Hope you're well, man. Ryan, LSU losing that game when Mark Sears scores 0 points and was benched in the second half is crazy. Speaks to Alabama's depth. Hey, Brian, good morning from somewhere in Northeast Arkansas. Did you see the story of a couple going up the Mississippi River Bridge when it was closed for snow? That was my son and his wife. Brian, I didn't see the story. I mean, you mentioned a couple days ago that your son was on the news, but I didn't see the story. If you have a link to it, send it to me. Probably not a smart thing for them to do, Brian. Hey, Chef, what's going on? There you go. Rick, you got it, man. Appreciate you. Thought it was a mess in bed, twisting and turning all night. Could hear it moving all night long. That's funny reading these. So if you're just joining, we're talking because Erica popped her head out a bit ago. Like Drew last night was all over the place, sleep. But that's what people are talking about how their kiddos slept. Brian Turner, early prediction for LSU offensive line against the star-studded Clemson D line. Brian, it's a little tough to say because I don't even know yet what LSU's offensive line is going to be like. I know they still want to add another tackle, and we'll see if they can do that in the next portal cycle. Obviously you've got a plug and play starting center in Braylon Moore, and I believe Josh Thompson coming in from Northwestern is going to be a starting guard for you, but they will start him at tackle if they don't add a tackle and they don't feel like the guys they have step up. So, I mean, could Tyree Adams be your left tackle? Excuse me. Could Tyree Adams be your left tackle? Weston Davis be your right tackle? I think, that's a possibility. But if you have the opportunity to go bring in a plug and play starter at tackle, I mean, you could have Braylon Moore at center, Josh Thompson at right guard, transfer right tackle, Tyree Adams at left tackle, then left guard. You could have any number of options, including but not limited to DJ Chester moving over to guard, which is his more natural position after starting 13 games this year at center. I'm blanking. The kid who replaced Garrett Dellinger. Why am I blanking? Y'all can tell, man. I haven't sharpened my pencil on these on the football talking points right now to think about next year's offensive line. But anyway, and then the guys you got coming in, man. You got a 5-star freshman at Solomon Thomas, 5-star freshman at Karis Kern. You mentioned Bo Bordelon, who started in the bowl game for you and has kind of waited his turn to be a 4th-year guy next year, maybe with an opportunity. So Lance, son sleeps like a fish out of water. It's crazy, right? It's wild. Like, why are kids so crazy in bed? Like, why do they at what point in our lives do we calm down when we sleep. We're not moving all over the place, or do we move all over the place? Just don't know it. Saints have shown to be more patient. Carr is just good enough to not draft high enough to replace him. That's my fear, right? You run it back with Derek Carr, and you're in that 7-8 win range again, which is probably where you'll be. And so you're drafting in the teens, and then what are you really doing? You're still not in you still don't have the opportunity to draft your franchise quarterback. I hear Drew. There he is. It's about to get raucous. Hey, Hunter, good morning. Bubba Smith, good morning. Lewis, good morning. Why are coaches so scared to work these days? It seems they don't want a team unless someone already built it. They can get credit if they win a Super Bowl. Lewis, I don't know that that's the case. I think it would be different consider the other point of view as well. I think it would be different um, if there was patience from the owner front office side as well. And that's really the difference is when there's no patience from the owner and front office. And Antonio Pierce, 1 year fired. Doug Peterson's a guy that won a Super Bowl, is a really good coach, really good offensive coach. He's fired in Jacksonville. There's just not a lot of patience from ownership. So, coaches are hired to be fired. So if that's the case, if you're a coach and you have options, you want to take over an opportunity where you're going to have the opportunity to have success, because then it's like it's staying in front of the resume. What you don't want to have happen is you take a less desirable job, a tough situation. You become a head coach. It's a struggle for a couple of years. You get fired, and then you're to the back of the line. You don't get another opportunity. So you want to put yourself in a situation for success, which I understand. Hey, Robbie, would you like to see Rizzy back as special teams coach? Sure, that's just not going to happen. All right, Kobe, happy birthday, man. 20 years old. Make it a great one, man. 32 jobs in the world. Someone says, no thanks, you have a problem. Brady waiting for a better situation if the Bengals open up a Tiger reunion with Chase and Joey B. I don't know that I see that happening. I guess next year, if that's what you're talking about, Carl, like next year, if they miss the playoffs again, then yeah, I think Zach Taylor's out. But I don't know, man. That was just such a rough start for them this year, and they were pretty incredible down the stretch. Thomas, vote results maybe tomorrow. Thomas, I don't know when we find out you talk about the best of Baton Rouge voting. Thanks to everybody who voted. Very much sincerely appreciate everybody who took the time to vote. But hopefully it comes our way, man. It'd be great for Parrish, especially we all have been around for a while, but as Parrish, we've only been around since May, so it'd be great notoriety if we're able to win best of Baton Rouge. Let's see, both teams' inability to shoot for three cost them. Good example why I can't ever get into basketball. H-Town Creole, get a young coach, even more, move Kubiak to head coach, draft an offensive lineman, hopefully get an athletic quarterback for RPO. Yeah, it's interesting how Kubiak doesn't seem to be getting any traction for any head coaching jobs. Do you think it's as simple as keeping Rizzy means full rebuild made and hiring anyone else means business as usual? No. I think honestly, I think the bigger decision lie in what they do with Derek Carr. If they retain Derek Carr, if they restructure and retain Derek Carr, that's the business as usual decision. If they decide to cut Derek Carr and and move on, designate him as a post June 1 release, that I think is your that's your indicator that they're moving on, which would be great. But I think that decision will probably be made in conjunction with whoever the new head coach is. Casey Smith, any bets? Yeah, man, I'll make sure we get honor locks posted for today. So y'all check Louisiana Sports Sunday. We'll have them posted for the games. Thomas WLL selling to Soros, sad. Samuel looks really peaceful. Yeah, man. We had a great night last night. Great morning too. What's the point of Loomis if he is hiring a bridge coach? They might as well pull the Band-Aid off, move away from him at this point. He feels like lame duck, waiting to retire when he's ready. Yeah, I don't think he wants to retire. I don't think Loomis is anywhere close to wanting to retire. Is Russo going to do AFR today? Well, it's I guess that's Musso. It's Sunday, so no AFR today. But I'll be back on AFR tomorrow on Monday. Cody Champion, where are you, Matt? At my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's Airbnb. It's called Capital Cottage, Capital Cottage. I have it tagged on my Instagram story if anybody wants to go check it out. It's in Mississippi, so we're north of St. Francisville. You keep going north on 61, north of St. Francisville, about another 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes, and you turn off on one of the state roads, and you weave your way back, and it's nestled back in there. Gorgeous place, man. We had a great time. I'll show you all again for those who just joined. So this is the porch, rocking chairs, fireplace, your outdoor fire pit, pond, man-made pond out there. It's about eight acres of land. This is the backside of it. So, and the house is beautiful too. So, I would take y'all inside to see the inside, but I think everybody's just kind of in their pajamas doing the coffee thing. So, I'll try to be respectful. But y'all can go check it out on Airbnb, see the pictures of it and everything. It's great. 2-bedroom. Thoughts on the Pelicans and their future? I think it's a foregone conclusion that Willie Green won't be back. I think it'll be fascinating to see if they move BI before the trade deadline. Which, if that's the case, why didn't you trade him before the season? I get that point. Zion is a major conundrum as well because you gave him the extension. He hasn't been healthy. Do you try to move on? But you're not going to find a player of his caliber, but he's never healthy. They're just in a terrible way. I mean, they're the worst franchise in the NBA. I mean, there's no. I don't know that there's even any competitor. They're the worst franchise in the NBA, and I also don't think it's any coincidence that the Pelicans are the worst franchise in the NBA. The Saints right now are one of the worst franchises in the NFL, and they're owned and run by the same people. There's just gross incompetence right now on Airline Drive. Morning, Matt. Tank for Arch. Why not Nuss? It may turn out to be that way, Damon. Like I think, and I think one of the things we're seeing with a guy like Jaden, right, Bo Nix, guys that made 40 starts in college are more ready to play early in the NFL. Shocker. Dudes that are 23 years old that have played in 40 college games, 50 college games in Bo Nix's instance, are more ready to play. Oh, shocker. So, yeah, I mean, I think, and, the thought had been you want the younger guys so you have more years with them, right? And you're getting guys that are with less wear and tear. But what we're seeing now, I think the flip side of it is get guys that are more experienced and they're more ready to play. So, yeah, I mean, point being, like, Arch started 2 games this year when Ewers was hurt, and Arch may end up being great, but we may be sitting here at this time next year with Garrett Nussmeier as the best quarterback in the draft. That wouldn't shock me. I mean, he's the leading returning passer in college football. He just threw for 4,000 yards. Paul Brown, we ever get 104.5 on the radio in the North Shore again? Paul, we're working on it, man. I can tell you, like, we knew that our New Orleans affiliate was going away. We had about a 2 month heads up on that, so we have been really working hard, man. But you can't just make somebody put your station on the air or your show on the air. So we've had to find potential partners and affiliates. Um, and we've engaged in negotiations with some of them, but we haven't been able to come to an agreement yet, which is disappointing because, of course, we want to be on in New Orleans and the North Shore, the Bayou region, the River region. But um, in the meantime, you can stream us on our app or on YouTube. So we appreciate it. Um, but also, I mean, the more you'll keep asking, or maybe keep pressuring some of these stations to carry our show, that would be better. Yeah, good. Thank you, Sebastian. Yeah, Kelvin Shepard. If you missed it yesterday, Kelvin was promoted to defensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. He'd been linebackers coach there under Aaron Glenn, and they promoted him to DC, which was awesome. He's paid his dues, man. He's been around the league a minute. Morning, Matt. Here's to hoping for a JD5 masterclass, something positive as a Louisiana sports fan. That's not even our team. The things we go through for these teams. True. Yeah, man. I'm hopeful today. Just realistically, I think the Eagles win at home. I think they're about a 6.5 point favorite. Um, I just I know that Washington beat Washington beat Philly. Was it week 16? But that was when Jalen Hurts got hurt. So really beat Kenny Pickett. Saquon running the way he is. It just feels like a big day for Philly. I will say, I will be interested if Washington's able to play with a lead and they can get Philly out of their game of running Saquon and force Jalen Hurts to beat him through the air. This is one of those games, man, that like it's why Washington went and traded for Marshawn Lattimore, right? Okay, here you go. There's AJ Brown. Go get him. You know. So be interesting. Shane O'Mac, we love our trips to Gatlinburg, the solitude, mountain views, whiskey and wine. Now we're already older. We're so much more into that than the beaches. I'm with you, man. Like I could take or leave the beach. I like the scenery of the beach, but I could see it from my room. I don't need to go sit in the sand and the water and all that stuff. But yeah, sometimes these are great. It's like in Moneyball when the coach says, "I'm coaching this team in a way I can explain to job interviews next year." Yes. Flag McCarthy, a failed Cowboys coach, is the odds-on favorite for the job. At least that should help with the Loomis problems. Hey, Abner Neal, good morning. Murder Giraffe, Patriots made the playoffs on Mac Jones' rookie year. That's right. But so it's been, let's see, Brady left in 20. So 21.
How much longer are you gonna be?
Oh.
Guys, we could just like help in here. And,
What?
I just need help in here picking up everything and getting Drew's backpack started on stuff I'm gonna do.
I think that was my cue to go inside. Please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, shout out. I'm so used to doing this at home, but it's reversed now. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Brock, if you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout at Parrish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Of course, Unique Physique is semaglutide, tirzepatide, the weight loss shots. Incredible results. And by the way, lowest prices, never any contracts. They actually even introduced 3-month pricing. So if you buy 3 months at a time, you'll save $100. You do the whole thing over telemed. You never have to go into the office. They could ship your medicine anywhere in the country. So check it out. Your eye just sounded she was talking at 2.5. Anyway. Yeah, thank you. You can always listen to us on. I mean, you can listen on TuneIn. It would help us more if you would listen to our app. You could download the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app in the App Store. It's totally free, but that would help us more. But if you listen on TuneIn or iHeart or any of those apps, it's all helpful. But however you listen or watch, I'm always for it. But it's more beneficial if you watch the 104.5 ESPN YouTube or listen on the 104.5 app. Chantel, do you think the Saints will pick? Who do you think the Saints will pick as a head coach? I mean, it's hard to say anything other than I think McCarthy, maybe Rizzi, if they run it back there. But McCarthy sure seems like the odds-on favorite now, right? Do you think Arch starts 2 years? Yeah, man. It wouldn't be surprising at all if he went and started 2 years at Texas, right? I mean, I think depending on also, I mean, the money will be there at Texas, and then who's picking at the top of the draft next year may have a big part of that as well. So, um, if the Falcons can't cut Kirk, we can. I think they can cut Kirk. We can cut Carr, and I agree with you. They can. It's just will they? Loomis screwed up 2 franchises in different sports. It's true. Andy, good morning. When you check your work email, please disregard mine. Also, did you ever get an update on Dan Bornay? Okay, Andy, thank you. And I haven't got an update on Dan. I know you asked that, and I say I will, and I forget. I need to I know when I'm on my phone. This is on my phone right now, but I need to just text my dad and be like, "Do you have an update on Deacon Dan?" What do you think about Saban? He wants a second chance. League. Remember, you said no about Kelly to LSU. So open mind. What do you mean? I said no about Kelly to LSU. I don't know which time I when I said no to Kelly to LSU. When they made the hire, I thought it was a great hire. As far as Nick, on the pivot, he said if he coached again, he would coach in the NFL, not college. And maybe he gets bored and does it. I find that kind of hard to believe. Just taking him at his word on that in that interview. He said if he wasn't doing TV, he'd probably be bored and would coach again. But he also said, I don't. There's only one way to know how to do this, and it's full speed. And he said that last year in 2023, he felt like he was killing himself, literally, he was killing himself. So. Wendell, good morning. 99% of Americans suffer from sleep apnea. Moving while sleeping is not out of the ordinary. Moving isn't the thing. It's more like Drew's a tornado in his sleep, which is crazy. Anyway. All right, y'all. E-Rock sounds. Seth, where you at? Again, I'll sign off here, but I'll show y'all one more time for those who just joined. We're at Capitol Cottage. Beautiful spot. My Erica's sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, built this. It's their camp that they use as an Airbnb. It's beautiful. I'll show you over here. Look, they got the outdoor bathtub over here. There's the bathtub. Don't worry, it's 8 acres and there's nobody anywhere remotely close to this. So, beautiful views. Over here, I'll show you over here. If you're interested, I linked Capitol Cottage on Instagram on my Instagram story last night. But so, I mean, just nothing but solitude. Ain't nothing near here. Anyway, that's a good question. Hang on. I'll ask. Hang on. Oops, sorry. Let me ask. James, is the four-wheeler available to use as a guest?
Yeah,
No. Huh?
depends on who.
Depends on who. Lauren, my sister-in-law, was like, no. And James was like, well, it depends on who. Anyway.
Bring your own.
He said, hey, can you hunt?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you can hunt. All right. I'm going to shut this down. Thanks for watching. Y'all have an awesome day.